New Landing's Job Chat is brought to you in part by the Prosperity Advisory Group, the next step in your financial future, and by the EBS Group with an unparalleled background in Oracle solutions and services.
We all have power, and we don't use it, or in some cases, we don't know how to use it. Today, you're going to find out how to use it from our guest here on Job Chat. I'm Hector Silva. I'm your host, along with Sarah Kane. And our guest today is MK Mueller. Welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Sarah, a little bit about our guest.
Sure. Author, trainer, and empowerment specialist MK Mueller began her professional life as a high school teacher when she hit rock bottom and found herself in a domestic violence shelter. From the depths of despair, she experienced life-changing insights as she discovered that we are not victims because the power to effect change is always within us. From this bold foundation, she began a support group with 5 neighbors, which quickly grew to hundreds coming to hear her message each week. Now she trains over 100,000 people each year, from homeless shelter residents to Fortune 500 executives, in the concepts from her first book, Taking Care of Me, The Habits of Happiness, as well as those of her award-winning new book, 8 to Great, The Powerful Process for Positive Change. Meanwhile, she is dedicated to the empowerment of our youth and trains thousands of middle and high school teachers each year in her 8 to Great success curriculum. It has touched so many lives, it was recently mentioned on Dr. Phil. MK is also the proud mom of 2 grown children and lives in Kansas City. Welcome, MK.
Thank you so much.
Yes, welcome. Why don't we start by trying to define what power is?
And that's an interesting word, isn't it?
It sure is.
Sometimes it's easiest to define a word by its opposite, and you said it beautifully. Victim, despair, those are the 2 most powerless words probably in our vocabulary. When we feel like a victim, it's like somebody else has control of our lives. So one of the things we love to do in my seminars is have people turn to each other and say, I am in charge of my life. And everybody laughs. And then I say, now turn back and say, and I'm not in charge of yours, which is another big part of power, is knowing where you end and others begin, not taking on responsibility for the world, but owning your own power for your own life. That you can do anything, be anything, have anything, go anywhere. That's using your energy and your power to direct your life.
It's a big word, responsibility.
It is.
From a conversation we had before, we were talking about how you have to take on responsibility. Mm-hmm. Is that part of owning your power?
Absolutely. When you have the power to make a decision, hopefully you have the responsibility that goes with it. Sometimes we find that people have the responsibility but no power. In other words, I'm responsible for getting all these things done, but I don't have the power to make a decision to make it an easier process, for example. So power and responsibility absolutely go together. And again, responsibility, we say in 8 to Great, is moving from BC to AD. BC, blaming and complaining. AD, acting and dreaming. When you can act, you do. When there's something you can do about it, you run for the commission, as you did, Hector, and take that responsibility and that power on. And when you can't, we do speak to people in shelters and prisons. We have trainers all over the country that are training this program to people who can't act right now. It might even be because I'm a mother of, 2 small babies, but I can still dream. So your power can even be mental and emotional.
Can you get stuck in dreams?
Oh, goodness. Are we there? This is a big question. You want to go there?
Yes.
All right. I love that question. We have an 8-step process, and I always say it's a good thing to have only 8 steps, because if there were 120 steps to Alcoholics Anonymous, no one would be sober. But there are only 8 steps to 8 to Great, and I believe it won Best Self-Help Book of the Year in 2010 because it was so simple, because it was a process anyone could follow. So once I was done putting the process together, studying the happiest, healthiest, most successful people, we found that the first thing they had in common was a distinctive difference between dreaming and goals. Goals, we found, were SMART. We've heard this before. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-based, Dreams, we define in 8th grade as big, bold, innovative, and grand. With a goal, you know how you're going to do something, right? I'm going to meet you. We're going to go walking for 20 minutes. This will be great. We know all the details. With a dream, we don't know where or when or who or how. So, for example, when one of my trainers is teaching in a high school and a student says, oh, my dream is to, whatever, win the rodeo award, an average adult will say, now, how are you going to pull that off from this little town in Kansas? Our coaches say, wonderful. How does it feel now that you have that award hanging on your wall or sitting on your shelf? How does it? In other words, they move students out of the how, because Michael Phelps didn't know how he was going to win 8 gold medals. Mary Lou Phelps didn't know, Mary Lou Retton, sorry. Mary Lou Retton didn't know how she was going to get the first perfect 10. We don't know how we're going to achieve our dreams, but the first step is just getting to that imagination. The second step, Hector, then, is risk. In other words, it's not enough just to sit in the corner like Cinderella did and dream of being a princess. You have to get dressed and go to the ball. So I find with people looking for their next perfect job, the first thing is to really know what it is you want and really dream bigger than you've ever dreamt before. So many of us settle, and then we get into dreams we don't really like and we hope that we're fired, right? So we want people to really dream of that perfect job. I'm living my perfect job. It sounds like you guys are. And it's out there waiting for you. But the second thing then is to take risks. So just a quick example of that. I was wanting to sing jingles. I heard some jingles. Welcome to the Garden Cafe. I don't know if they ever had that in this area, but in Omaha, the Garden Cafe was big. And I wanted to be one of those jingle singers. So I made a phone call and I said, can I come in and just sit in on a session? And because I sat in on that session, met people, introduced myself, had a nice power-packed handshake, I became the top jingle singer in Omaha. And anybody who's heard me sing knows it's not because I'm the best singer, but I was a great dreamer and a great risk taker. And I took full responsibility and never blamed and complained. Well, almost never.
So, MK, how do you know how big of a risk you should take towards your dream?
I love that question. We get formulas. 8th grade has formulas, again, which makes it so simple, huh? We simply say run to, not from. Okay? So when I had the idea to become a jingle singer, would calling them be a run to or a run from?
A run to?
Absolutely. Would lying to a friend be a run to or a run from?
Lying to a friend?
Yes.
I'd say a run from.
Absolutely. Cheating on a test from. Getting drunk from. Sitting around watching television all day is from, right? In other words, we don't have to tell people what a to and a from is. We know inherently. And so it's going to that networking event and seeing that person across the room who you go, I want to meet them, but yeah, run to, not from. If you had no fear, what would you do? And one gentleman in one of my talks said, excuse me, ma'am, did you say if I had an affair, what would I do? I said, I did not. But here's the good news. If you had no fear, you wouldn't have the affair. So there you go. Run to will always take you where you want to go. And I hear young people say, I want to live a life of no regrets. And I go, I'm doing that. I can help you. And the life of no regret is, if you had no fear, what would you do? Run to, not from. Does that answer your question?
It sure does.
Oh, yay.
Sure does.
It almost tells me that you want to be in a position where you don't think years down the road, I should have done that.
Absolutely, Hector.
New Landing's Job Chat will be back right after a word from our sponsors.
Hello, my name is William Easley, Managing Director of Wealth Management with Prosperity Advisory Group. A job loss is an unsettling experience that almost always challenges finances and lifestyle. Important decisions need to be made immediately that work toward protecting financial security, which include making significant adjustments to day-to-day spending habits. The obvious catch is how to make ends meet on less income. If you should find yourself and your family in this situation, you should begin by itemizing all of your current expenses, no matter how small, and assigning them as either fixed or discretionary. Examples of fixed expenses are mortgage payments or health insurance premiums. Discretionary expenses would include entertainment costs or that weekly dinner out at your favorite restaurant. The key is to eliminate as many of your discretionary expenses as possible and reduce your fixed expenses if able. More importantly, don't postpone these decisions even if you receive a generous severance package. You must tackle them right away. Your ability to maintain a wide array of financial options may depend on a proactive rather than a reactive approach to budgeting so that you can protect your other financial goals like retirement and the assets earmarked for them. Again, I'm Willie Measley with Prosperity Advisory Group, the next step in your financial future.
When we ask 95-year-olds, we've done the study, but lots of other people have done the study too. When you ask people at near the end of life, if you could do it all again, it's a very common answer. It's not that I wouldn't have taken the risks that didn't turn out, right? In other words, I asked her out and she said, no, that's not what they regret. It's the risks they didn't take. Just went to my 40th reunion, and I happened to be of the single persuasion. And a gentleman's dancing with me, and he said, I really wish I would have asked you out in high school. God bless us, Let's not pass those moments by. And today, I'm just going to talk to your viewers for a second. Today's going to be full of moments. So I really encourage everybody I talk to, don't miss this moment. Don't sit around regretting the moments that are gone, This is the moment. I get to be on Job Chat with you two. It's a moment. I'm thrilled.
So is it the effort more than the result?
Absolutely. It's the action more than the result is how I might say it. I'm taking a sales course right now because I've got this large sales team, and I kind of want to say, I don't know, just go do it. But I'm now learning a process, just like 8 to Great is a process. I'm learning this wonderful Sandler process for sales. And one of the things they say is, count the calls you made, not the outcome of the call. And I really appreciate that, and I think that would be good for someone looking for a job. I am going to make this many calls today. I'm going to send out my resume to, I'm going to take a detour here. Let me tell you, I just put out an ad for a position on both LinkedIn and Craigslist. It's fascinating how many times I find the perfect person on Craigslist, but normally I find them on LinkedIn. At any rate, and let me tell you, people don't take risks when they respond to a job request. Bland, gray, grayer, off-white, cream. It's like if there's ever a salmon or a beautiful blue sticking out, it's like, whoa, there's a real human being here. Truly, risk-taking has got to start with first impressions. And one of the things we're learning at the Sandler sales course is don't sound like a salesperson, right? And I'm going to say the same thing. When you walk in, how can you distinguish yourself? For example, I sat down with you two today and said, so what's something you're grateful for? And that's something that I do with everyone I meet. So can we start with something we're grateful for today? And again, it just sets you apart. So in this day where multiple people are applying for every job, you've got to stand out. And if there's one thing I'd say to people who are replying to those ads on LinkedIn or Craigslist is, for heaven's sakes, say something original. I was sitting in the tub thinking about somebody's wrote that to me, thinking about your request, and I think I'm perfect. Got my attention.
MK, I would guess that on the path to your dreams, it's not only about the actions you take,
yes,
but also what you say no to, the limitations that you define.
Absolutely. Huge insight. Think about a child's life. Any grandkids, kids, okay. When they get to be 2, what's their favorite word? No. And they practice it and they get so good at it, and it is crucial to them being the happy little toddler that they are, is that they know how to say no. Somewhere along life, sometimes that no is beaten out of us. And again, if somebody were going to come to me for coaching and say, okay, I want to get my power back, one of the homework assignments I give them is, go say no to 3 things. And I come back next week and I want to hear what you said no to. It can be as simple as, would you like to donate an extra $1 to? Okay, very simple stuff. But the ability to say no is absolutely inherent. If you don't have a no, your yes doesn't mean anything, right? Would you be willing to with the job, and would you, and if it's yes to everything, they don't know where you stop. You have to be able to say no to certain jobs in order to get other jobs, but you also have to say no to certain activities in order to say yes to other activities. Dating, marriage. Marriage is saying yes to one person and no to a whole bunch of others. And I just think that we underestimate that. So I actually have a favorite way of saying no. Can I share it with you?
Definitely.
Please.
Okay. We'll practice it all together. No, I won't be doing that, but thank you for asking. Okay, here we go. No, I won't be doing that, but thank you for asking. No. Why?
It seems to flow.
It does. Now, why is it so powerful? It's so powerful because if you give an excuse, what are they going to argue with? The excuse, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, again, in sales, somebody says, oh, no, because you go, oh, well, we can solve that problem. If we could solve that problem, would you be? Okay, that's how that works, right? But if you really mean no, simply saying no without an excuse is by far your strongest. And again, what I say is everything is someone's dream. And so when my parish calls me and says, would you be in charge of the grocery drive for the parish festival? And I say, oh, no, I won't be doing that, but thank you for asking. Oh, but Mary Kay, you know the most people and you're so outgoing. And I said, there's someone who really wants to do this. And if I said yes, it would be a should. And I'd only be giving, mediocre energy. But there's someone out there who wants to do it. And I have to get out of their way. So tell them that I'll be on the committee. I'm just not going to chair it. In our process, we say, don't should on yourself, don't should on other people. So I'm not going to take something that's a should for me. Well, sure enough, doesn't Christina call me 2 weeks later and say, hi, I hear that you're, and I say, Christina, congratulations for being in charge of this committee. Oh, I just moved to town, and this has been a wonderful opportunity. So I really think that's how it works, to be as good at saying no as you are at yes. Thanks.
Now, some people may think that saying no becomes selfish. How do you tell the difference between what is selfish and what is self-empowering?
I love it. Thank you. Great question. To me, someone who believes no is selfish has a limitation perspective, which means you think that you really are the only one that could help with the parish grocery drive. And so I would simply sit down and chat with them a little bit about the abundance of the universe. I really don't believe in scarcity. For example, someone says, I want that promotion. And you say, well, that's great. Yes, but it looks like he's going to get it. Well, you think there's only one promotion out there? Well, yes, in our company. And I go, no. And I have many times gone into companies or coached people to go into companies and say, I could such and such. And what? The position was created for them. So I love helping people expand their perspective of what is possible. And that the universe, you can call that grace, flow. Sometimes we get into spiritual terms, but it truly is unlimited. There's another word I'm looking for here, but it's unconditional, unlimited, it's boundless. And so you're saying no to that. Recently, actually, I'm coaching a young woman in Lawrence, Kansas, and she turned down a job that just wasn't her dream, but it would have paid the bills. But she believed, she had just been through our 2-day training, and she believed it was possible. And sure enough, the following week got her dream job. So we hear this all the time. Again, saying no to almost, and holding out for what is truly your dream.
So we are the ones that can put limitations on ourselves.
Absolutely. The only ones, don't you think, Hector?
Yes.
Absolutely. So I get so tired of people quoting statistics about the economy. Is anybody else tired of that? Oh my goodness. So my son is at Drake University in Des Moines, and he told me he was taking another computer course, and I said, honey, I thought as a junior you got to do the fun stuff in marketing, not have to take another computer course, which he's good at, but it's not his dream. He said, oh, but Mom, the job market requires it. And I just had to roll my eyes. So his professors even are telling him that there's scarcity out there, when he just got, by using the skills that we teach, he got his perfect internship in San Diego for a new young marketing firm. I mean, he's living proof. He's at Drake on a $40,000 presidential scholarship he didn't even apply for, because he used these principles rather than, well, my ACT isn't quite high enough, so I better get realistic and, lower my expectations.
Yeah. It's instead of concentrating on all those numbers that they put out there of people that don't have jobs or jobs that are not available, concentrate on what you're doing, the number of jobs you're trying for, and the important number is that one job you're going to get.
Absolutely. I'm selling my home, and I love to remind myself it only takes one to fall in love with my home, and I have a great home in Omaha. Anyone who's interested, no. It truly is. It's a beautiful home, and I know I've sold 3 myself. I just couldn't sell this one myself because I live in Kansas City now, which I love.
So, one dream per person?
Oh, no. Hundreds. And so we love to say one of the activities we do in our seminars, workshops, and trainings is share one of your dreams with the person next to you. And we say one of. Could be a trip you want to take. It could be the perfect job. It could be the car you want to drive. And then to pretend it's already there. Have you guys heard of vision boards?
Mm-hmm,
oh, yeah, they're so fun. So having all those dreams on your board, whether it's relationships or health or cars or homes or trips that you want to take, or jobs you want to have, and then really, I think it's time to chat just a moment about my friend here. We call this the power pyramid, and we say when you're feeling powerless, you're down here at 5. You're like a car that's only 5% fuel efficient. When you're up here, you're at 95% fuel efficient, huh? And how do you get from 5 to 95? By choosing thoughts that feel good. So when 95% of your thoughts feel good, right? You're 95ing, and when you walk into that job interview 95ing, even if it's because you played with your dog that morning, right? And you say, good morning, yes, my name's MK, yes, yeah. Okay, well, aren't you more likely to get the job than if you're 5ing about the last rejection that you got, yes? So we say getting to those thoughts that feel good, and gratitude is an easy one, playful memories, hopes and dreams, all thoughts that feel good. All work you up to that powerful place.
Well, MK, we thank you for sharing your power with us today. And we thank you for sharing your books with us. And everything that you've done, everything you've said today is going to be of some use to someone out there if they're listening and they put it as part of their power.
It's so true.
Okay.
Thank you, Hector, so much.
If somebody wanted to contact you and get some more information,
yes,
where could they reach you?
8togreat.com. That's the number 8, TOGREAT.com. And 8togreat.com has both business and education options. So whether you're a principal or a parent who wants to get it into the schools, or a CEO or an HR person wanting to get it into the business, we'd love to work with you. 8togreat.com.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you, MK.
Thank you so much.
You can hear more advice and information from MK and a number of other guests by listening to our past chats online. You can catch these and all other podcasts on our website, www.newlandingsjobchat.org, or just search for Job Chat on YouTube.
And until next time, may your days be full of health, happiness, and success.